Welcome back to PRN Test Drive. I'm your host, Nile, and today we're taking a look at this 2025 Acura ADX Platinum Elite A-Spec, or the Advanced A-Spec in the US. Now, this was a vehicle I was a little hesitant at first when booking because the sister vehicle to it, the Honda HR-V, was a vehicle I was thoroughly disappointed in. In fact, I would go out to say that it was the least favorite or the worst vehicle I really drove in 2025. Not because it was poorly made or anything like that, but it was underpowered, overvalued, and just didn't do anything better than the competition, but you were paying that Honda tax for it. So when I booked this ADX, I was worried that it might be an issue of badge engineering, Acura just slapping their badges on it and calling it a day. But thankfully, this is more than that. In fact, I have been thoroughly impressed with this little subcompact crossover over the few days that I've been driving it. So today we're going to be going over all the features, all the specs, how it compares to the competition, and everything else you need to know if you're in the market for the Acura ADX. All right, let's talk about pricing when it comes to the new Acura ADX. Starting price $44,980 here in Canada, $35,000 in the US for the front-wheel drive version. Now here in Canada, we only get all-wheel drive. We have harsher climates, so that makes a little bit more sense, but pricing is not too bad overall. As tested, just over $55,000 Canadian, just over $46,000 in the US. So overall, not too bad when you compare it to the competition. Now, the Honda HR-V EXL navigation that I drove, that was $41,158. So the base price for the ADX is a little bit higher than the fully loaded version of the Honda HR-V, and that makes sense. You have to have a way to step up to the luxury vehicle. But it's when you compare it to the direct competition that you can see that Acura has priced this in a very good position. The base model Mercedes-Benz GLA 250, zero options on it. Literally, the base model starts at 52,200 Canadian. The BMW X1 xDrive 28i starts at $50,900. The Audi Q3 40 TFSI, $45,950. And then the Volvo XC40 that starts at $45,650. Did I miss anything in the subcompact crossover space? Let me know. But this comes in about $700 less than the next least expensive subcompact luxury crossover. So overall, it's priced pretty well. And then as I said, even at the top end, getting all the features and everything that they offer at this time, you're looking pretty good. The Mercedes and BMW, you're going to have to add a lot of options to get it up to the same level of features that you're going to get on this. When it comes to the engine powering our Acura ADX, there's only one option. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder VTEC engine produces 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. Now, on the press release, Acura says that this is similar to the one found in the Integra. The Integra is technically a different engine code. From what I can tell, this is the same engine used in the CR-V and Accord. Now we have a CVT, that is the only option for the transmission, and as I mentioned, all-wheel drive is the only way you can get it here in Canada, with front-wheel drive being an option in the US. Now, how does this engine compare to the HR-V? As I mentioned, I really didn't like that vehicle because it just felt very sluggish. That used a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, only producing 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. So even though the numbers aren't immense, the difference is pretty good when it comes down to it. This vehicle feels a lot peppier and it is more enjoyable to drive. Now, I'd say the only missed opportunity here would have been for Honda to offer the hybrid engine that they do in the Civic Hybrid, because that would give you about 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque, quicker than the Honda Civic SIs everybody's been talking about recently. But I think that the hybrid would have been the better choice for this vehicle because it gives you more power, gives you better fuel efficiency, and there really isn't anything in this segment in the luxury space that offers a hybrid engine. So Acura not only could have had a pretty compelling little vehicle, but they could have stood out with the engine choice as well. Let's talk about some of the key features when it comes to the Acura ADX. When it comes to the exterior, we have full LED lighting, including LED fog lights. A lot of people like to have fog lights. Many vehicles don't offer it anymore. We do have remote start, keyless entry, a power liftgate with a walk-away feature, so you can walk away from the vehicle. As long as the key fob's in your pocket, it will close down automatically, which could be helpful for some people. And then we also get these unique 19-inch rims by going with the Platinum Elite A-Spec. We also have wiper de-icers. That's something that we don't usually see regardless of which segment you're in. And then the washer fluid is built into the wiper nozzles, so it makes it a little bit easier when you're clearing your screen. Doesn't give you too much of a distraction as you're driving along. The interior is quite nice. 15-speaker Bang & Olufsen surround sound system with a speaker in the center so that the front passengers can have directional audio, as well as speakers in the headliner, again to give you more of a 3D surround sound system. It works great. It's actually probably one of my favorite sound systems when it comes to especially this price point, but I mean, it just sounds really good for what you're paying for it. You have the 10.2-inch Acura Precision cockpit. That's the digital gauge cluster. We have a 9-inch infotainment system with Google built in. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are both wireless on this. However, there is no built-in Sirius XM radio. We have the multi-view camera. That is the 360-degree camera system with a quick access button on the washer stock. It's nice and convenient to get to it. We also have heated and ventilated front seats, dual zone automatic climate control, and a panoramic sunroof. I mean, the only thing really missing from this at this price point would be a head-up display. It'd be kind of nice to see. And I mean, if Acura did come out with a digital rear view camera like we saw on the ZDX, it would give, again, another compelling reason to go with this, having some standout features with it. But aside from that, I mean, it's kind of got everything I want. So let's take it on the road now. I'll tell you about how this vehicle drives, handles, and everything about the 2025 Acura ADX. All right, we're on the road now in the Acura ADX. First off, let's talk about fuel efficiency. I've kept this vehicle in comfort mode. You can see we've got snow, comfort, normal, sport. Comfort's as close to eco as you can get. We completed our test loop in 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers. It's not terrible. I mean, yeah, a little bit of a performance-oriented engine, right? You get a little bit more performance out of it compared to the HRV, but it's still a small vehicle. So I was hoping for slightly better. Now, again, talking about the engine, I think that the hybrid would have been the best way to go with this. That's what I would have preferred. I talk about it all the time that at the very least, all the vehicles should have an option for a hybrid. Doesn't need to be a plug-in. We don't need to have full EV, but at least a hybrid. I mean, not only are you saving money on gas, but you're also getting more performance. So, whatever, right? Take that to note, though, Acura. You offer the hybrid in here, I think it could be a game changer. But let's talk about this. So far, performance has been fine. CVT is what it is. I mean, I do like the fact that we've got metal paddle shifters here. The flappy paddles feel really good when you go to click them. But why? I mean, we're in first. I mean, it's a CVT. Why? So, I mean, I guess it's cool that they put it in, whatever. I don't use it. I mean, I don't even put the car into sport mode. You've got a sport mode for the transmission as well as the engine profile. If you need it, it's there. But really, I've been just driving around with this in comfort mode, and it's been enjoyable. The ride has been good. The quietness is actually pretty good on here as well. I imagine that there is some active noise cancellation through the Bang & Olufsen audio system. And as I mentioned outside, I like it quite a bit. It might be one of my favorite ones available on the market, especially at this price point. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with it, but it just sounds so good. So performance good, ride's decent, interior comfort. I mean, that's going to be key, especially if you're going to be driving a lot. If you're buying this as like a daily driver or commuter car, I've been thoroughly impressed. I mean, the seats, they're not overly bolstered, so a big guy like me fits no problem. I like the Alcantara inserts. It feels pretty soft and smooth and comfortable. And it's cool, right? I mean, not cool as in nifty galifty. I'm talking about physically cool. When I get into the car after a hot day, it's not too bad. And then ventilated seats make a big difference too. So overall comfort's been great. And like I said, I mean, I always worry when I'm driving these subcompacts. I'm like, you know, arm up, can't quite fit. It's like doing the boogie to try to fit in here. Not at all. I've been quite impressed. So that's really the takeaway from this is you know, I mean, I had mild expectations for this vehicle, and they certainly surpassed them. I think that this is a much better buy over the HRV, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, did Honda purposely make the HRV the way that they did so that there would be a reason to upsell to the Acura? And I mean, it's hard to make that argument only because there are no Acura Honda dealers, at least not here in Canada, right? Like you're going to go to an Acura, it's separate from Honda. Whereas, you know, the old adage, the old sales approach for General Motors by having a Buick and a Cadillac and everything all built into the same dealership is you could walk that customer up from a Chevrolet to the more premium or luxury vehicle in the same building. So it was easier of an upsell. Whereas here, I mean, I don't know. So I think that, you know, Acura has done a great job with this, absolutely no doubt. But I came up with the thought, like, did they make the HRV terrible just so that they could sell these? And I'd say no. I think that the HRV just isn't a vehicle for me. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who enjoy it and like it, but it's not the car for me. But this is. I've been impressed. I would actually consider one of these if I'm in the market. You know, comparing that to the BMW X1, the Mercedes GLA, those are pretty pricey, especially if you want basic features. You gotta pay for them. Whereas at this price point, I mean, you're getting practically everything that you really need out of it. And the small things that I mentioned, like a HUD and no Sirius XM built in, those aren't deal breakers for me. I've been using Apple CarPlay, and I've got XM radio. I pay for it through my app subscription, so I could just play it through here. No big deal. And really, the HUD doesn't make a huge difference. I can see the screen, the Acura cockpit, precision cockpit, pretty easily. So it's not a big deal there either. So realistically, I mean, if I'm looking for a comfortable premium vehicle, I think this is the way to go for me. It's effectively got everything. And I'm not hating the red. I mean, I probably wouldn't option it, but it looks good. I mean, Acura always does a pretty good job with that. Now, the only other thing to note too, when it comes to this vehicle, and this might offend some of the Acura purists out there, but all Acura vehicles up until this have either been built in the United States, Canada, or Japan. This is the first one that isn't. It's built in Mexico. Now, we've talked about Mexican-built cars before. I don't really see an issue with any of them. This thing seems to be built pretty well. There's no rattling. There's no, you know, mismatched trim or things that are falling out. It's got 10,000 kilometers on it, so it's a pretty good indication of overall use. I always say that these press vehicles get abused a lot more than a regular consumer's vehicle would, just because of how many people are going in between them. Some people don't take care of them, so the abuse is higher than you would normally see in a typical purchased vehicle. And I mean, it's held up really well. I'm quite impressed with it. So really, I mean, this is a vehicle I would consider. I'm quite happy with this one, and I might even get it in white. I kind of like the white too. It has a good contrast with that gunmetal and black exterior trim on this. There's nothing to hate. So really, honestly, good job, Acura. I'm quite happy that I had the chance to drive this. And then really the only question is, what took them so long to come out with a subcompact? Because in the time that Acura has not been in this space, we've had vehicles come and go. Cadillac XT4 was a super popular vehicle. Came out in 2019 was the first time that we did it, so maybe 18 was the first model year. That's dead. The Infiniti, you know, whatever it was, QX40, QX30, it was a Mercedes GLA with an Infiniti badge on it, but that's dead. And then, you know, you got BMW X1, X2, and the Mercedes GLA, the Volvo, and the Audi. So, I mean, not everybody makes one in this segment, but it's nice to see Acura finally coming out with an option. So maybe it's going to force Infiniti to rethink their strategy. Maybe they will come out with their own vehicle. And then Cadillac, I mean, they're going full in on EVs. So something like the Optic would be the next most comparable, but even that's a little too big. It's more of a compact. So we'll see if Cadillac comes out with a subcompact vehicle, but not going to be comparable because it's going to be fully electric. So anyway, I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. It's a good job. But that'll pretty much do it for me when it comes to the Acura ADX. If you have any questions about this vehicle, please let us know in the comments below. We will try to get back to you as quickly as we can. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, we invite you to do so as well. I mean, it doesn't cost anything, and we'd love to have your support in growing the channel. We've got 2 other hosts, so 3 of us in total here, meaning regular content all throughout the week. So if you like cars, if you like hanging out with us, then you got to subscribe. And I know most of you aren't, so make sure you hit that button. But until next time, we appreciate you watching, and take care. Okay, what the f is going on here? Like, can you f off?